What is up, you guys? TheJamesDTV here. Sorry for like the really crappy lighting. I've got like just a lighting rig set up. I got a new chair, In this video, I'm kind of talking about, just the channel and where I'm at with it, and also like future plans for the channel. So I'm filming on my LG Phoenix 4. If you guys haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to reach 300 by the end of the school year, which the last day of school for me is June 10th. So please get me to 300 before June 10th. That's the deadline. Just please try to do that. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications. Please watch the videos. Because 97% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed. So please just do me a favor and subscribe. I'm at 270 right now. But yeah, so this video, just like channel plans. So, as you see, I got a new chair. So I'm going to get a new desk and everything, new computer. I'm going to get a MacBook Pro 2013 probably. That's the year I'm going for. I can install Monterey with a patcher because it runs Big Sur, no problem. If you don't know what I'm talking about Mac OS software. But right now in front of me, I've got my LG Hospital TV as a monitor, but that's going to go back to being a TV when I get an Apple 24-inch cinema display, one of the old mini DisplayPort ones, one of the newer ones with the iMac design, That's going to be my main monitor. I'm going to have, like, my gaming keyboard, of course, and maybe I'll get that, that third-party RGB backlit keyboard. It's kind of like this one, which is like, an Apple official one. But I'm going to get the space gray one that's backlit, and it's got RGB backlighting to it. And it looks exactly like this one, except there are no USB ports on the side. Let me hold up. This is a microphone. You can hear, like, the keyboard. Yeah, I'm going to get some new stuff. I'm getting a new phone. I mean, I don't have my iPhone 8 right now, but I'm going to get that back, like, last day of school. So, well, the day before when I get home, I'm gonna get my iPhone 8 back. I'll film videos. I'll do a quick video, upload that to YouTube. But this honestly isn't looking that bad right now on my LG Phoenix 4. I just can't edit on I could edit on the phone. I can't upload through the phone. I have to go. It's a whole process. But yeah, I've also got the Motorola here, which I could edit everything on, but like the Motorola, I think it's dead, but, oh, no, the battery's dead anyway. It's just showing the low battery screen. But yeah, I'm going to get the new MacBook and everything. I'm going to get a new desk so I have space for all this. I'm going to get a new phone this year, preferably. I want to get an iPhone 12 Pro Max, not a 13 Pro Max. Those are too expensive, way out of my price range. If I can get my hands on, like, a decent amount of storage on one, that'll be good. I mean, if I can't get a 12 Pro Max, I'll get a regular 12 Pro. I'll get the 12 Pro. I mean, my friend has the 13 Pro. 13 Pro is the same size, and I've held my friend's 13 Pro. It's a pretty good phone. It's got a nice camera. That's why I want to get one of those ones. If not, I'll shoot for an 11 Pro Max. Honestly, I'll go that old. That's the oldest I'll go. I was going to get an iPhone XR last year, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because, they just discontinued it last year. Hi, Tara. You sniffing the keyboard? You're a good kitty. Yeah, I've got cats, but... Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get an iPhone SE 2016 as a backup camera, and you can kind of actually see the hair floating. Wow, the camera's picking that up. But yeah, no, I'm going to get an iPhone SE 2016 as backup camera, like if I shoot like extra footage, I can use it if I need a second camera for a video. I'm going to get a new iPad, definitely. I might try to get my hands on a 2018 iPad Pro. If not, I'll go for a 2020 iPad Air. I just want one of the ones that doesn't have the home button on it, and then I can use the Magic Keyboard with trackpad on it for, just so I can use it as a mini laptop. If not, I'll get an iPad Mini 6, I mean, I just want one of the ones that doesn't have the home button, because it's like one of the newer ones. I mean, everyone's complaining about the iPad Mini 6 with the jelly scroll, but I don't really care. The only thing I'll really use it for is probably, like, I don't know what I'll use it for. I'll probably use it for just, like, video watching if I don't want to use my TV. Or if I'm, like, on the go or something, I want something that I can watch, like a decent-sized screen compared to my phone I can watch videos on. Yeah, I'm going to get a bunch of new stuff. My iPad, which, let me actually grab real quick. You can still hear me because I got the clip-on microphone, but yeah, this is the iPad in 2012 model iPad 2 box. I have the iPad 2, 1. This is the box for the 2, 4, which is the same model iPad, the different product identifier, because this one shipped with iOS 6. You can see because of the iOS 6 wallpaper and the copyright date's 2012. I don't know why Apple sold it that, like, for a brief moment, but yeah, this is the iPad. It's nearly complete. It needs a new Wi-Fi antenna. I mean, the module is perfectly fine. It just needs the antenna, and it needs a new screen digitizer. Sucker still works. I can't, like, swipe to unlock because it needs the digitizer, which actually makes the touch possible. This thing's at 7% battery, and yesterday when I checked, it was only at 9%. This thing does get pretty good battery, but yeah, I'm going to fix the iPad, get that thing working again. I'll install Windows on the MacBook when I get the MacBook, just because, like, Windows on a Mac, it's easy. Mac OS on a PC is a little harder. I mean, later on, I might get a Mac Mini. I mean, I'm going to get a job this summer. Hopefully, I'll get a job at a Jack in the Box. And I'll show you the computer I was using before. Ignore this MacBook Air thing that I put on it. I mean, this thing looks like a MacBook Air. From the side, it looks kind of like a MacBook Air. I mean, this was probably a knockoff, and I heard something crack. Yeah, if you hear that trackpad, this thing is very finicky, and I hate using this. So that's why I always used a mouse with this computer. Because it would, like, think I was doing some sort of gesture. I have one finger on it, or I'm scrolling. It thinks I did something else, and it does some weird tasks and stuff. The screen's annihilated. There's no battery. The mini HDMI port on this side's busted. This thing's basically a piece of garbage. There's also another thing I'd like to address. I might as well just turn this into count this as an episode of the podcast, even though I didn't really say it was, but I guess I could just call it that, just podcast episode, I guess. Welcome to the podcast. Yeah, this is not an actual, like, thing that's just made by EVU exclusively. This is some generic laptop that, companies slap their names on just to make money off of it. I don't know why. I found this exact same configuration laptop. Intel Atom processor. I think this is the Cherry Trail. I don't know how good it does. I'm not like a PC person. I'm not even a Mac user technically. I mean, like, I only use Linux for, like, playing I didn't really play games on it. I just watched YouTube. And I, just browse the internet on Google Chrome, because I had Linux Mint on here with the KDE Plasma desktop interface, and I just made it, because I'm like a hardcore Apple fan, and this thing looks like a MacBook Air, so I went and made it look like macOS Catalina / Mojave. I also kind of liked Mojave. Honestly, I think between all my favorite versions of macOS, these are like the top 3 in my eyes, like from best to, like, still good, but, like, not 100% my preferred one. Catalina is my favorite. I mean, I just like the icons, because they still look kind of like macOS 10 Yosemite, or whichever version it was that came out with the new icons, except they're slightly better. I mean, the dark mode's great. I like the wallpaper. Although I do like the, like, not the, like, the wallpaper that's like the art one that they made. I'm talking about the one that's an actual picture of, like, the Big Sur location in California. I like that wallpaper, because I'm pretty sure Plain Rock 124 used that in his Moving On video when he got a new MacBook. I like that wallpaper, so Big Sur is kind of number 2 on that list, and Snow Leopard. I didn't use Snow Leopard. It's just the greatest looking one out of, like, well, in design, but, like, well, it's third best in my opinion, but I think Snow Leopard's pretty cool. I would get my hands on, like, an old, I think the PowerBook G4 ran Leopard. I know it ran Leopard. I don't know if it... Someone comment down below if they know if the macOS, if macOS Snow Leopard was on the PowerPC Max. I think oh no, I'm pretty sure that was one they had the beta on. The public release didn't work on PowerPC processors. It was on Intel only. It's really weird now that I think about it, because in the past, when Apple switched from PowerPC to Intel, the iMac they had at the time, the iMac G5, the one with the EyeSight camera, is exactly how the first-gen Intel iMac looked. The PowerBook G4 and the first-gen MacBook Air look similar, except the MacBook Pro, not MacBook Air, MacBook Pro had the EyeSight camera. iBook G4 and first-gen MacBook didn't really match. PowerMac G5 and first-gen Mac Pro did sort of look the same. Mac Pro had an additional optical drive, I think that's what it was on it. The PowerMac G5 only had one. I mean, there are people that have taken, like, the cases of PowerMac G5s and put, like, a PC motherboard in it. So then they made it into a Hackintosh too, which is Pretty good idea. I kind of want to do that, but I don't know if I'll ever do it. Yeah, and then the first gen, the PowerPC Mac Mini looks like the first gen Intel Mac Mini. I mean, I guess it saved money for the Switch. They're just like, you know what, we'll just keep the existing design and then later on update it. Because I know the 2007 iMac, they changed it. They went from the plastic to like the aluminum and glass, which pretty nice. DankPods uses a 2007 iMac. I wish I could, but honestly don't want to. I mean, like the oldest I'll use is a 2011. I was going to get a 2013 iMac 21.5 inch this year, which I might still do. So I might not get the cinema display, and I'll just have like the iMac as my desktop, and I'll use the MacBook just for on-the-go stuff. But yeah, as I was saying about these laptops, they're all cheap pieces. Like they're okay. I got this for $20 from my friend Joey, but like it was an okay laptop. 2 gigs of RAM, 32 gigabytes of eMMC storage. This thing doesn't have an SSD that you can remove or a physical hard drive. This thing's got like basically, if you think about the storage chip on an iPhone, that's basically what this thing has from what I can tell, like from what I've heard. eMMC is like an SD card soldered to the motherboard from what other people have said on the internet. You can't upgrade it unless you know how to do soldering and you can find a one. I wanted to put a 1 terabyte chip in here. The RAM is also soldered in. There's only one chip. It's like 2 gigs. I want to put at least like 8 gigs in here if I could find a way to do that, or 4. I'll go for 4 gigabytes of RAM. You know, and this thing can run like Windows 11 possibly if you put 4 gigs of RAM in it. The CPU is also soldered on. I don't know if there would be a better one I could put in it. But there was another brand called Epic. They had a laptop similar to this, 10.1-inch screen, same chassis and everything. The motherboards are the same too, because I found another motherboard same as mine, but from a different brand, and it looked different, but it was the same body, like the same like piece. It looked the same. I was like, you know, I might buy it, and then I found the actual model of the computer, looked at the specs, like this is the exact same thing as this. I don't know. Honestly, this was good for $20 for almost 200 at Walmart. No. Honestly, you could get your hands on like probably like a 2014 MacBook Air. I mean, this thing is basically a MacBook Air that runs Windows. It's a cheap laptop that people slap their names on that looks like a MacBook Air. You could get a 2015 MacBook Air possibly for less than this, or the same price. I mean, you could go full on Luke Miani, buy a broken one, and then just restore it, you know? I mean, like, saves it from landfill. I mean, that would be good. This thing's just e-waste, basically. People are probably going to say stuff in the comments, but I mean, like, it's not e-waste if all you're going to use it for is just, like, simple tasks, but this thing kind of sucks for me. And it wasn't even that good, either. It got pretty warm. The battery, when I was on Linux, it got worse. Even on Windows, I remember I had problems with it randomly shutting down. I had to keep this thing constantly plugged in. Like, if I have a keyboard, well, no, if I have my mouse plugged in, kills it, like, after a few minutes. It was terrible, but, like, you know, I got the laptop used. I am going to try to get a new laptop. I'm going to get the MacBook Pro 2013. I'll find a SSD for it, put a new one in there. You know, I'll put like a terabyte of storage in it. I can't upgrade the RAM, so I'm going to have to get as best RAM as I can. I mean, if I can find someone who knows how to replace soldered RAM, I'll go have someone do that for me. You know, upgrade the RAM to like, 16 gigabytes? I think you can put that on there. If I can get 32, I'll do that, you know. This is almost like a live stream, but this is podcast, you know. Yeah, I mean, the MacBooks are nice. When I was in 7th grade and I lived in Springfield, Illinois, they had MacBooks. They had the polycarbonate. I'm pretty sure they were the 2010 models because they ran High Sierra. And I think only the 2010 ones could do that. Pretty sure the last polycarbonate ones came out in 2010. Really weird thing is, so basically the identifier, like, basically back when there was the MacBook Air, and the MacBook Pro, the only way you could know if it was a MacBook Pro is if it was aluminum and had glass on the front. But the 2008 unibody MacBook was a little bit different. It looked like a MacBook Pro. From what I remember hearing, I heard somewhere certain parts on the 2008 unibody MacBook were compatible with the unibody MacBook Pro. I don't know if that's actually true. Someone fact check that. Drop a comment. Let me know if that's like actually like true. I heard that somewhere. I can't remember where I heard it from. I did also hear somewhere about parts of like the first gen Intel iMac and like iMac G5 were compatible, which I don't really think would. I don't understand it, like it. I don't know if it would be possible. I mean, it's kind of like how like with Apple Silicon transition, the first gen M1 iMac looked exactly like. I mean, not iMac. No, the first gen M1 iMac actually was pretty nice. It was pretty cool. I don't like the fact that they got rid of the Apple logo. Heck, John Prosser didn't like it either, and he actually found someone on Etsy who made stickers for the iMac, and you could put it on the front of the iMac. But no, the first gen like M1 Apple Silicon Mac Mini looked like the Intel Mac Mini. The MacBook Air looked like the Intel one. Apple Silicon MacBook Pro looked like that until last year when we got the new one. Like the Apple Silicon Macs are starting to look different now. So far, we've got an Apple Silicon iMac. We've got an Apple Silicon MacBook Pro. Well, I'm talking about the redesigned ones. We have the Mac Studio, which isn't technically a redesigned product. It's new. Funny thing is, Studio Display came back because back in like I think the original Apple monitors for like the Power Mac G3 were called the Cinema Display. I mean the Studio Display. I remember they had a big CRT one that looked kind of like an iMac G3. I think it was the same monitor, like the same CRT, kind of like how with the older Thunderbolt displays, I think they used the iMac panels. But yeah, then they went to the Cinema Display, but then they brought back the Studio Display this year. So Studio Display is nice. I wish it wasn't locked to Thunderbolt 4 devices. From what I heard, like it only works with Thunderbolt 4. I mean, I found out that target disk mode is still a thing. You use it through Thunderbolt instead of FireWire, which I didn't actually know. I learned that later on. I was like, so target disk mode still exists, but you use it with Thunderbolt. Why did I not know this? I mean, I didn't really watch many videos about target disk mode anyway. All I know is I knew the FireWire Macs could do it. It's pretty cool. I mean, like you turn your Mac into an external drive, basically. It's a very big one too, especially if it's an iMac. It's like it's a USB, it's a Thunderbolt or a FireWire drive. You can't carry with you because it's got to be plugged in at all times, and it's got a friggin' monitor on it. I mean, a MacBook you could, or did they have FireWire on the Mac? I don't remember. All I know is I know they had it on the iBooks and stuff, and the PowerBooks, or like PowerBook G4. PowerBook G4. I'd buy one of those. Like apparently those things still like can run YouTube and stuff on Safari, which is okay, I guess. I mean, I've used let's see, what versions of Mac OS do I remember that I've used? I've used High Sierra, I've used Catalina, I've used Big Sur. I feel like I've used Mojave. That's about it. All I know is my laptop has had multiple Windows versions on it. I mean, this thing shipped with Windows 10. Then I installed Linux, so I just kind of, went the full Linux route. I had VirtualBox on it after I installed Linux, and I got Windows XP is the oldest one I got running on there. Windows XP was pretty nice, like, I have memories with XP, because back in the day, my grandparents had a PC. It was a Dell PC that had, like, a CRT monitor, and it was, pretty nice. My mom got the exact same one. I remember on my mom's PC, I used to play, like, this CD-ROM game from the movie Cars, the Disney Pixar movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a pretty good movie, But yeah, so yeah, I had memories. They both ran XP, so that kind of, that's the first version of Windows I've used. The oldest version I think I've used is 3.0, which that was on some online virtual machine. It wasn't a simulator where it's not real Windows. It was real Windows in an emulator on a website. Yeah, it was a website. They had like emulators on there. They had Windows 95. I've used that. I've used 98 when I went to daycare when I was in like second grade, because they had 98 PCs. They had like a friggin' Lego racing game. They had some games on there that like they had the kids play. They ran Windows 98, which was insane. Like this was 2015, 2014. I think Windows 10 was already out by then. If not, Windows 8.1 was the newest. I hate Windows 8. I've used Windows 8. I hate it. Start menu's stupid. I just hate the start menu. I had Windows 8 on this laptop, because I was going to try to see if I could get the drivers on it. I managed to find a way to bypass the product key. At 8.1, I hated 8.1. 10 is better. I like 10. Well, my favorite is, out of all of them, is Windows 7, because I used 7 back in elementary school when I lived in Brewster. Because when I was there, we had 7. Then when I went to school in OMAC, they had 7 like for the rest of 4th grade. Then they went to Windows 10. Then they went to Windows 10. Then when I was in 5th grade and I moved schools, they were using Windows 7 for the rest of that year. Then they went to Windows 10 the next year, and they still use Windows 10 to this day because Windows 11 just came out last year. I don't think the school's going to switch to Windows 11 for a while. I haven't used Windows 11 yet. I don't think I have used Windows 11 yet. But I've used a bunch of Linux operating systems. I've used Ubuntu. I've used Pear OS, which is basically Mac OS, but it's a Linux distro. I've used Windows FX 11, which is like Windows 11, but Linux. Like, it looks exactly like Windows 11. You can run exe files on it. I couldn't install it on my laptop for some reason. I don't know why it wouldn't let me. It kept on failing. It said it didn't have enough memory, like storage on it, but I had formatted my drive so that way I could have storage on it. It needed, like, it didn't even need the whole 32 gigabytes. Barely, I don't even think it needed anything less than 15. And it's just like, you do not have enough storage. It's like, I just wiped the partitions. I have enough storage. That's why this laptop was an issue with 32 gigs. I had to delete so much stuff off of it when I had Windows on it. Was a nightmare. Windows 10 on 32 gigabytes of storage and 2 gigabytes of RAM is a nightmare for me. I mean, it's like trying to use a PowerPC Mac with modern software. Oh. No, it's like using an iMac G3. No. It's like using the original Macintosh as a daily driver machine, because those things don't have that much internal storage. Back then, you didn't need that much. Now we got a whole friggin' terabyte of storage. You could get like 10 terabytes or something. I mean, the Mac Pro is nice. Honestly, if I could, I'd get a Mac Pro, because the Mac Pros are nice. I could get like a 2010 Mac Pro, or a 2013 if I could find one that's cheap enough, but I feel like those are going to lose support soon, if they haven't already, but like, you know. Yeah, I hope this audio sounds good coming out of this microphone, or else I'm going to be mad that I have to restart this whole thing and do it all over again. But yeah, no, I had Pear OS Thick Sur, which was basically Mac OS Big Sur, but Linux-ified. It didn't run Mac applications, but it looked exactly like Mac OS. I think it used Ubuntu with I know it used the KDE Plasma desktop interface, because when I reinstalled Linux Mint, I used KDE and I had the Mac OS everything on it, you know. So I know that it was KDE that they used for the desktop environment. Yeah, I had Windows XP on my laptop. I did 2 videos on Windows XP. I never did the Vista one because Vista was kind of screwy. I installed Vista as an update from XP on the virtual machine, and I kept on getting the blue. I moved my mouse, blue screen of death. That was my first time ever actually getting the blue screen of death. I remember after that, one time at my school, one of the PCs in the library had the blue screen of death because there was something wrong with I think it was the boot partition or something, was something wrong with it. So I'm pretty sure the school reinstalled Windows. They could have had me do it. I have a installer for Windows 10. I have a USB drive that has Windows 10 on it. I am gonna buy a product key though, so I can actually get when I get my Mac, I could put Windows on it and not have to use like the temporary license. I don't want to do that because then I gotta go and reinstall my applications. You know, I just want to buy a product key. If I could get one for free, that would be nice. But that's piracy and that's illegal. And this is coming from a guy that pirated like Mario Kart 7, New Super Mario Bros. 2. I pirated a few Nintendo games for my 2DS, which is now broken. But yeah, I pirated a few games by homebrewing my 2DS and, you know, downloading the ROMs. I had the, like, original New Super Mario Bros. For the DS on my phone. Because, like, my iPhone had a DS emulator, which, of course, you know, Apple doesn't like side-loading apps. You get, like, temporary license for the app. Then you gotta go and find a new certificate for it and reinstall. And sometimes it takes a while, depending on what you use. You can use Alt Store, but I don't have a Mac or anything, so I can't use Alt Store. I had to rely on Panda Helper and TutuBox, which that's where I always downloaded my jailbreaks from, so I could do the untethered jailbreaks. My iPhone 6 took a while for me to get it jailbroken once I got the phone working again. It took me a while to get it jailbroken because I couldn't get because Panda Helper and TutuBox weren't working. It's just, You gotta, like, think about stuff like that. It's not easy. Like, I remember having problems back with my iPhone 5. Like, when the certificate expired for the Jailbreak app, my phone would go so slow. I'd force restart and I'm stuck without a jailbreak. If only Apple would just allow you to sideload apps. If they could have just allowed you to do it what Android does. You know, like, well, I'm filming on my LG. I can't even grab it. I have sideloaded because my LG can't connect to the internet. I have sideloaded apps onto it because of that. That's the only reason why I even sideloaded the apps. So I have like iOS 6 launcher on it and lock screen. It's pretty cool. I mean, I got a few apps that look like iOS 6. I did find this iOS 9 ROM on XDA developers, and I just downloaded some of the APKs that would actually install my phone, because a lot of them kept on saying app not installed, which was really annoying. And then some of the apps that they would install, you open them, they just crash. You can't get into them. They'll just say, unfortunately, this app has stopped. It was so irritating. And then I remember the same developer that made iLauncher, which is like I'm using the iOS 6 one, and also iLocker, which is the only update for that was iOS 6. And then iNoti, which is like the notification bar from iOS 7. There was this one, it was called iSettings. It was basically iOS 6 settings app for your Android device. It would crash, and then my settings app, my normal Android settings app is gone, so I have to go and uninstall it. I have to basically go into like the control center / notification center thing, whatever you call it on Android. I don't know. I don't use Android. The only reason I'm using Android is because like that's my only option right now. I don't have my iPhone. But yeah, you go in there to the quick settings thing, and then you get into the settings app, and I had to go and uninstall it. It was very annoying, but yeah, pretty irritating. So you know what? I guess that's about it for this episode of the podcast. We're just gonna end it off there. Yeah, I got some problems and stuff like with tech, but yeah, I'll see. Thank you guys so much for if you've watched this far. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.